You wake up. You reach for your phone before you even open both eyes. Notifications, messages, a short scroll just to check something. Then suddenly, 20 minutes are gone. You tell yourself, I'll just start after this. But you don't. Because your brain doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to the endless scroll, to the red notification dots, to the invisible system designed to keep you chasing, not finishing. And the worst part, you think you're choosing it. You think you're in control. But your brain, the same one that built cities, wrote symphonies, and fell in love, has been hijacked by something ancient, chemical, and invisible. Dopamine. You don't need drugs to be addicted. You just need stimulation. Every ping, every scroll, every next video triggers a tiny spark, a hit of dopamine. Dopamine isn't pleasure. That's what most people get wrong. Dopamine is desire. It doesn't make you feel good. It makes you want to feel good. It's the itch before the scratch, the hunger before the meal. And today, the world is built to keep you itching forever. Because the more you crave, the more you consume. That's not by accident. It's design. Tech companies, social media, even food industries all discovered something neuroscientists call intermittent reinforcement, the same principle that keeps gamblers glued to slot machines. When rewards come unpredictably, your dopamine system goes wild. So your brain learns maybe the next scroll, the next video, the next notification will be the good one. And suddenly, you're stuck. Not because you lack discipline, but because your biology is playing against you. Let's rewind 100,000 years. Your ancestors' brains were dopamine-powered machines, built for survival, not Instagram. Every time they hunted food, found shelter, or bonded socially, dopamine said, yes, do more of that. It helped them focus on what mattered, finding resources, staying alive, connecting with others. Now fast forward to today. That same primitive system faces an environment it was never designed for. You're not hunting mammoths, you're hunting notifications. You're not gathering berries, you're gathering likes. And your brain can't tell the difference. The same neural pathways that once pushed humans to explore, to create, to survive, now trap us in an endless loop of seeking without satisfaction. You're not lazy. You're overloaded. Because your brain's reward system is running on ancient software in a world that's figured out exactly how to exploit it. Here's what actually happens inside your brain. Deep in your midbrain sits a small structure called the ventral tegmental area, or VTA. It releases dopamine into the nucleus accumbens, your reward center, the part that tells you, this feels good, do it again. But there's another part involved, the prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic, planning, and willpower. In a balanced brain, the prefrontal cortex regulates desire. It says, enough, let's focus. But dopamine overload weakens this control. The more stimulation you consume, the less sensitive your dopamine receptors become. So you need more just to feel the same. That's why 5 seconds on TikTok feels easier than 5 minutes of reading. That's why you open new tabs when watching YouTube, text someone mid-conversation, or switch between apps without realizing it. It's not distraction, it's dependency. You're not chasing pleasure, you're avoiding silence. Because silence doesn't trigger dopamine. And without dopamine, the brain whispers, something's wrong. But here's the paradox. The more dopamine you chase, the emptier you feel. Because dopamine fuels anticipation, not fulfillment. You feel alive while chasing, but numb when you catch. That's why finishing a project feels less exciting than starting it. That's why new goals thrill you more than achieved ones. Your brain is built to pursue, not to arrive. And unless you understand that, you'll live your whole life addicted to the chase. Let's talk about the price you pay. Constant dopamine stimulation doesn't just steal your focus, it steals your meaning. Because meaning isn't built through bursts of pleasure, it's built through depth. Depth requires boredom, boredom requires stillness, and stillness requires discomfort. But discomfort is the one thing the modern mind avoids at all costs. So we scroll instead. We scroll when we're sad. We scroll when we're bored. We scroll when we're anxious, lonely, tired, even when we're supposed to sleep. We don't face emotions anymore, we sedate them. And the longer you do, the less you know yourself. Because self-awareness is born in the quiet moments, not the noisy ones. There's a study from Harvard that found people would rather give themselves electric shocks than sit alone with their thoughts for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That's how intolerable stillness has become. We'd rather hurt ourselves than face the emptiness we've created. But that emptiness isn't a flaw. It's an invitation. Because right underneath it lies something profound, your capacity to focus, to create, to live deeply again. You can't detox dopamine. You can only rebalance it. New research from Stanford's Andrew Huberman shows that dopamine isn't the enemy. It's your compass. The problem isn't dopamine itself. It's how we've trained it. When everything becomes instantly rewarding, your brain stops valuing effort. It stops linking effort to reward, the foundation of motivation. But here's the breakthrough. Dopamine release is not fixed to pleasure. It's linked to perceived progress. That means your brain can release dopamine while working towards something, not just when you achieve it. You can literally retrain your brain to feel pleasure in the process, not just the result. That's how peak performers sustain motivation without burning out. They've learned to rewire the reward loop. Crave growth, not instant gratification. Reward effort, not outcome. Embrace challenge as fuel, not friction. You can do the same. But it requires a reset, a conscious rewiring. Start noticing what triggers your urges. The scroll, the sugar, the one more video. Each moment of craving is a clue, a signal of overstimulation. Awareness breaks autopilot. Make your distractions harder to reach. Move apps off your home screen. Keep your phone out of reach. Disable autoplay. Because dopamine feeds on ease. Friction starves it. You can't just cut dopamine. Your brain will rebel. Replace quick rewards with deep ones. Instead of scrolling, walk. Instead of binging, write. Instead of noise, choose silence. You're not quitting pleasure. You're upgrading it. Start celebrating the doing, not the done. When you study, work, create, pause and say, "This effort is the reward." It sounds small, but neuroscience confirms it. Reframing effort as pleasure reshapes dopamine patterns. You begin to crave challenge. Every day, sit in silence for 10 minutes. No music, no phone, no stimulation. Let the discomfort rise, then dissolve. You'll realize the world inside you is louder than the world outside. And in that stillness, creativity returns. Because your best ideas don't come from stimulation, they come from space. Here's the paradox. The less dopamine you chase, the more alive you feel. Because aliveness isn't intensity, it's presence. When you stop outsourcing joy to screens, you begin to feel it in moments again. A deep breath, a conversation, a sunrise. Your brain starts to crave reality again. And slowly something miraculous happens. Focus returns, energy stabilizes, meaning deepens. You start finishing what you start. You start showing up for yourself. You start recognizing that attention, not time, is your most sacred currency. And every time you give it to something real, you reclaim your humanity. You reclaim your freedom. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need you more distracted. It needs you awake. Your attention is the new oil. Everyone is fighting for it. Every app, every brand, every algorithm. But you have a choice. You can keep feeding the system that thrives on your disconnection, or you can take your mind back. Every time you resist the urge to scroll, you're not missing out. You're coming back home. You're remembering what it means to be human. So next time you reach for your phone, pause.
Ask yourself, is this me wanting or my dopamine wanting? Because there's a difference, and that difference is freedom. Come back when it's heavy.